George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, John Adams, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Benjamin Franklin, Florence Nightingale, Clara Barton, J.R.R. Tolkien, Robert Frost, and Tim Tebow. What do all of these influential people have in common? They were all homeschooled. I am here to persuade you to view homeschooling with a more accurate understanding, as a favorable form of education, because homeschoolers become the future leaders. This growing population has benefits socially, academically, and allows families to spend more time together. So moving on to my first point, socially. Some critics ask, are homeschool students properly socialized? Well, let me turn around and ask you a question. Are all public school students murderers? Saying that a homeschool student isn't properly socialized is like saying that all public school students are killers because of the recent shootings in Columbine and a more recent one in Maryland. So just because you might have seen a homeschool family that's not very social and to wear skirts and maybe make their own yogurt, that definitely does not mean that all homeschool families are like this. Because not all public school students are killers. So it just doesn't make sense to compare them that way. In fact, many parents are apprehensive about homeschooling their children because they are fearful that their child will not be properly socialized. But this is a myth. Tim Hawkins, a homeschool parent and comedian, observes that homeschoolers are not properly socialized. They don't get any socialization. But what do you get in trouble for at public school? Socializing. So, contrary to popular belief, homeschoolers are socialized, just not in the same way that public school students are. Most homeschooling families are involved in programs like the YMCA, sports, extracurricular activities, and co-op. So, like I said earlier, there are different methods for homeschoolers to be socialized. Also, Quinn Cummings, a homeschooling mother who was interviewed by the Wall Street Journal in 2012, says that homeschool children are socialized by their elders and not their peers, which probably has benefits that allows children to be more emotionally stable and intellectually grounded. But some critics and parents still argue that homeschoolers aren't properly socialized because they don't spend enough time with peers their own age. Well, in 2009, Canada performed a study on homeschool students later on in life. This study had over hundreds of homeschool students, and they compared them to their public school counterparts 20 years later. Well, the results showed that 20% more homeschool students than public school students were involved in social programs later on in life. Therefore, homeschoolers don't seem to be lagging behind in socialization later on in life. Since my family and I have all been homeschooled, this next slide shows a few of my siblings and some of their friends that they have gained through sports and extracurricular activities. Then, on to my second point, academics.